picking up where we left off, which I believe was around line 405. So, let me back up just a minute. Tiresias has told Oedipus, you're the cause, you're the problem, you're the curse, you're the pollution, etc. Okay? Oedipus replies, you shameless, in big dash, kind of implying he's at a loss for words. Aren't you appalled to start up such a story? You think you can get away with this? Now, when Tiresias made his comments, what was he replying to? What had Oedipus just accused him of? Oedipus accused him of being part of a conspiracy. He said, no, you didn't do the deed yourself. Why? Because he's blind. He wouldn't be able to. And so when Oedipus replies to what Tiresias said, it's like, you're trying to divert attention. You're trying to deflect from my accusation. Okay? You think you can get away with this. Tiresias, I have already. The truth with all its power lives inside me. Now when he says, I have already, in one sense, what Tiresias is suggesting is, I know the utter truth, okay? And I know that I was not fated to kill Laius, Mary, Jocasta, and such. And he also knows the truth about Oedipus. Oedipus, who primed you for this? What does he mean by primed? Louder? Yeah. Who put you up to this? When you prime something, like when you have to prime a cylinder or something like that, you have to pump it so that it's full of water or full of whatever kind of fluid. He's saying, who pumped you up? Who put this idea in your mind? Okay? Not your prophet's trade. Okay? So he's saying, by calling, the act of prophecy a trade, he's saying, you just buy and sell. You'll say whatever someone who pays you enough money wants you to say. Tiresias. Okay, Tiresias skips the second part about the prophet's trade and goes to the first part. Who primed me for this? You did. You're the one who put me up to say this. You forced me, twisted it out of me. Because what had Tiresias attempted to do? Not say a word. In fact, we're told through stage direction via dialogue that Tiresias had turned his back on Oedipus and had started to leave. And Tiresias, or Oedipus said, wait, don't go, come. So, say it again, Oedipus. Let me make sure I understood you. Didn't you understand just now, or are you tempting me to talk? No. I can't say I grasped your meaning. Out with it. Make it clear. Right? Because when Crayon first spoke, he spoke in kind of a riddle. When Tiresias first spoke, he spoke of in kind of a riddle. Now, what Tiresias has said in just the last 20 lines, what did he not say directly? What did he not say crystal clear? You killed Laius. He just says, you're the corruption. Okay? No, say it. I say, you are the murderer you hunt. Clear enough? Oedipus, that obscenity twice. By God, you'll pay. You want more? So that you can really rage? Oedipus is, Tiresias is kind of saying, okay, you think you're angry now. You want me to make you really angry? You want me to really piss you off? Hold on to your shoes, Oedipus. Go ahead. Say whatever you want. Your words are nothing. That is, your words have no power. They have no meaning. Tiresias. You can't imagine. In other words, oh, you're pushing me. If I really say everything, I tell you, you and your loved ones live together in infamy. Crystal clear? No. Still kind of riddling. You cannot see how far you've gone in guilt. Remember I had over here the other day themes, and I had sight versus blindness, light versus dark, knowledge versus ignorance. He can't see his guilt. Okay? Oedipus, you think you can keep saying things like this and not suffer? That is, you're going to reach a line. He's already crossed it, obviously. You're going to reach a line beyond which paying, Tiresias. Indeed. In other words, yes, I do think I can say these things and not suffer. Why does he think that? Jesus says, you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. This is 500 years before Jesus. At least in terms of Sophocles, writing of the play. Why did I bring that quote from Jesus in? Who does Tiresias speak for? The gods. He's saying, if divine truth has any bearing, then yeah, I'm kind of protected. Okay? Oedipus. It doesn't for you. Okay, Tiresias. If the truth has any power, Oedipus, not for you. You've lost your power. Stone blind. Stone deaf. Senses, eyes, blind as stone. You're not hearing me, are you, Tiresias? You don't have any power anymore. Oedipus isn't saying that because he's asserting he's taken the power. He's saying, you've lost your gift. What good is a prophet who no longer speaks for God or the gods, who is no longer a conduit for the divine word, so to speak? They're just like anybody else, and what they say can be false. That's what Oedipus is getting at. Tiresias, I pity you, flinging at me the very insults each man here will fling at you so soon. Oedipus here is like, what are you talking about? What insults? Blind as a stone, deaf as a stone. Well, Oedipus isn't going to have his ears cut off or his hearing destroyed. But he is going to become blind as a rock. Oedipus, blind, lost in the night, endless night that nursed you. He's talking about Tiresias. You can't hurt me or anyone else who sees the light. You can't touch me. Tiresias, you're right. You're right. It is not your fate to fall at my hands. Like Tiresias has a direct line to fate, that he can understand what fate has in store. Apollo is quite enough, and he will take pains to work this out. Meaning, Apollo is going to do what? Bring down Oedipus. Why? Is Apollo the servant of fate? No. In the Greek system, fate is here, the gods are here, humanity is here. The gods can see, perceive, and understand what fate has in store for humanity. Fate has no control at all over the gods. And the gods have no control at all over fate. But they can know exactly everything that's going to happen. Okay? We are the ones who suffer at the hands of fate and at the hands of the gods. Okay? But that's not why it's, Apollo's going to make you suffer. What has Oedipus done, possibly, that might offend Apollo? You pray to the gods, pray to me. I'll solve your problems. That's that hubris that we've talked about. That arrogance, that pride bordering on, whatever, divine-like qualities. So, Oedipus says, I know who put you up to this. Crayon. Crayon put you up to this. Where did you get that from? Yeah. The audience is going, what the hell are you talking about, Oedipus? Why? Is it his or your conspiracy? It's not Crayon. No. You are your own. Okay. Crayon is not your downfall. No, you are your own. You are your own downfall. Is Oedipus yet experiencing any recognition? Not at all. Okay? So, Oedipus goes on. O power, wealth, and empire, skill outstripping skill in the heady rivalries of life, what envy lurks inside of you, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So he goes on this long speech, talks about prophets, talks about prophecy, talks about how prophets are always wrong, etc., mentions the riddle of the Sphinx. Okay? And then he gets down towards the end of his speech, line 454, and this is the man you try to overthrow. You think, that is, me, who solved the riddle of the Sphinx, and you think you'll stand by Crayon when he's king? Okay? The leader of the chorus speaks. Calm down, Oedipus. I would suggest his words were spoken in anger. Who's the his? It's not Crayon, because Crayon hasn't said anything other than a little bit at the beginning. It's Tiresias. You pushed him. You set him up, Oedipus. You got him angry. Yours too. Okay, now when the leader does that, the leader's really stepping out on a limb. I mean, you anger the king and you disappear. Okay? Yours too. That isn't what we need. In other words, we need cooler heads. Everybody just calm down. The best solution to the oracle, the riddle posed by God, that's what we should look for. Quit accusing each other, Don't be like Democrats and Republicans. Work together, kind of a. Tiresias. You are the king, no doubt, but in one respect at least, I am your equal. The right to reply. What does he mean? You've charged me with something. I have a right to defend myself. Okay? So, Tiresias says, I am not your slave. I serve Apollo. Okay, where's the king in the hierarchy? King's here, Apollo's way up here. There's like an infinite gap between them. Okay? And I don't need Crayon to speak for me in public. Okay? So you mock my blindness. And earlier it was implied, it's not just that Crayon is born blind, like there's a problem with his eyes. It's that he's born without eyes. He's got the sockets, just no eyeballs formed. So, let me tell you this. You mock me on blindness. Let me tell you this. You with your precious eyes, you're blind to the corruption of your life. Notice, you have eyes, but you don't see. Oedipus. You're blind to the corruption of your life, to the house you live in, those you live with. That is, you're blind to the corruption of your life, to the corruption of the house you live in, and to the corruption of those you live with. And then he asks a question. Who are your parents? Why? That's that zinger, that arrow that sticks in Oedipus's mind. Because that question has been raised before. And he's like, how did you know that? You know? Who are your parents? Do you know? All unknowing. Ignorant, that's what ignorant means. No, it's not. Notice, it's not bad to be ignorant about a whole bunch of stuff. Some of you are probably going to be recording industry majors. Totally ignorant about that whole field. One of you might be physics or chemistry. Totally ignorant. I mean, a little very, very basic chemistry, you know. But that's it. That's okay. He's not talking about that kind of knowledge, though. All unknowing, you are the scourge of your own flesh and blood. And he means that unknowing both now and when you did it. Tiresias is, in one sense, he's almost handing Oedipus his defense. If this were going to arise to a court of law kind of a situation. I didn't know. All unknowing, you are the scourge of your own flesh and blood. The dead below the earth and the living here above, and the double lash of your mother and your father's curse. So you're the scourge of your own flesh and scourge, like whip. Okay? Of your own flesh and blood, the dead below, that is, you're the scourge of some of your family who are now dead, as well as those who are alive here now, and the double lash of your mother and father's curse will whip you from this land. One day, their footfall treading you down in terror. That is, the sound of their feet following you, chasing you. Okay? Darkness shrouding your eyes that now can see the light. The darkness shrouding your eyes, I think he's referencing your death. Not today, not tomorrow, but in the future. All right? Soon, you'll scream aloud. What haven won't reverberate? That is, what place of refuge, what place of safety won't hear your screams? He's telling Oedipus, you will find no refuge in all of your life. You will find no haven, no place of peace. Why? Because he says, lines 270 and following, banish this man, whoever he may be, never shelter him, never speak a word to him, never make him partner to your prayers, your victims burn to the gods. Never let the holy water touch his hands, drive him out, each of you, from every house. He is the plague, the heart of our corruption. Skip a little bit more. Now my curse on the murderer. So that first part's to those who know who the murderer is. Whoever he is, a lone man unknown in his crime, or one among many, let that man drag out his life in agony. Step by painful step. That is, till he takes his last breath. Okay? Tiresias goes on. Soon, soon you'll scream aloud. What haven won't reverberate? What rock of Kithaeron won't scream back in echo? Kithaeron is a mountain outside Thebes. Really, truly, I mean, geographically, it's really there. Okay? It is a mountain that the baby Oedipus was taken to be left to die. That's probably why Tiresias refers to it. What rock of Kithaeron won't scream back in echo? Scream back what? Oedipus's agony, both after Oedipus understands everything, that is, as a full-grown adult male, realizing I killed my father, married my mother, slept with my mother, had children who are also my siblings. And the screaming baby whose ankles have been nailed together. Those screams will kind of echo back. That day you learn the truth about your marriage. Notice, Tiresias is on a roll. Why? Oedipus has said, you're blind, you have no senses, you've lost your gift. And he's like, really? Lost my gift? Let's see. Let me tell you everything. So, the day you learn the truth about your marriage, the wedding march that sang you into your halls, the lusty voyage home to the final harbor. Yeah, there's all kinds of sexual innuendo there. About him re-entering his mother that he once came out of, okay? The harbor, you know. And a crowd of other horrors you'd never dream will level you with yourself and all your children. It's not an accident that he refers to a crowd of horrors and then finishes the line with your children. Why? That's the crowd of horrors. Once he really understands it, the children he looks at that he loves, he's going to be entirely he's going to have revulsion over. He's not going to be able to look at them and love them still. He's going to be like that. Though he is going to love them. It's the catch-22 that he's going to find himself in. There. Done. Now smear me with insults. Crayon, myself, every word I've said. No man will ever be rooted from the earth as brutally as you. Rooted. That means uprooted. Pulled away. You're not going to have any place to lay your head and call rest. That's what's meant by his being unrooted from the earth. Oedipus. Stop. Enough. Get out. Go. I wouldn't have come, but you made me. Notice, the only reason I'm here, you forced this. If I thought you would blurt out such absurdities, you'd have died waiting. If I knew this is what you were going to say, what's Oedipus say he would have done? I wouldn't have sent a messenger to you. I'd have sent an assassin in your sleep. Absurd? To you, not to your parents. Where do you think Jocasta and Laius received, or from whom do you think Jocasta and Laius received the prophecy? Not to your parents, the ones who bore you found me sane enough. Parents? Who? Wait. Big, long pause. Who is my father? Ah, that's the question. That's the question Oedipus has asked before. And what did his quote-unquote father say? I'm your father. And he lied. He wasn't his father. Polybus was not his father. What starts right here? The enignoresis, the recognition. It's just a glimmer, like the door's been opened a millimeter. How did that begin? Who are you, parents? Tiresias just kind of slides that just under so it sits in his brain, and now it starts to bubble. Okay? Who is my father? Tiresias. This day will bring your birth and your destruction. Why this day? Aristotle, I had written over here the three unities. Unity of time, place, and action. Everything within the play happens within a 24-hour time period. He goes from being, king of the world, so to speak, to the most vile, hateful, despised person there is. Okay? So, riddles. All you can say are riddles. Murk and darkness. And then notice Tiresias' jab. Oh, but you're the best man alive at solving riddles. Come on, Oedipus, riddle me this. Give me the answer. Mock me for that. Go on, you'll reveal my greatness. Your great good fortune, true. It was your ruin. What's his good fortune? Ability to solve a riddle? Not if I saved the city. What do I care? What's Oedipus thinking about? At least his words say this. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about saving the city. It's about stopping the death and destruction of the city. Okay? Tiresias. All right then. I'm leaving. Kind of like, I don't want to leave when the fire and brimstone, Okay? So, Tiresias starts to leave. And Oedipus says, take him away. Out of the way, the irritation's gone. Like, speck of dust in your eye. Once it's gone, the eye stops watering and everything returns to normal. Get him out of the way, and I'll calm down. So he turns his back on Tiresias and starts to go to the palace. But notice Tiresias still has a word to deliver. I will go once I've said what I came here to say. In other words, I haven't yet said what I came to say. He said an awful lot. I will never shrink from the anger in your eyes. You can't destroy me. Now, for us in the 21st century, we're kind of like, Tiresias, that's just going too far. He's the king. He's got the power. He could have you hunted and killed down on your way. He could have you killed right here. But not in the Greek way of understanding the world at this time, or at the time of the play. Why? Because fate and the gods control us. And Tiresias is saying, take your shot. You can't touch me. Why? I'm not fated to die by you. It's almost as if he were to, magically have a weapon, pull the trigger, it'd be like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. And the bullet would go and then drop. Not going to happen. So, you can't destroy me. Listen to me closely. So, no riddles. Implied. The man you sought so long, proclaiming, cursing up and down, the murderer of Laius, he is here. So, not quite crystal clear, but, he's here. A stranger, you may think, who lives among you. He soon will be revealed a native Theban. Remember, Oedipus earlier said that he is counted as a native Theban. That implies he's not. He wasn't born in Thebes. Now, Tiresias says the murderer is someone actually born in Thebes. But he will take no joy in the revelation. Revelation. What does that mean? It means the truth is revealed. Something that is hidden is revealed, like the book of Revelation. Okay? It's also called the apocalypse. Why? It means the unhiding of something that has been hidden, or the making known something that's been kept secret. So, he will take no joy in the secret being made clear. Blind, who now has eyes, beggar, who now is rich, he will grope his way toward a foreign soil, a stick tapping before him, step by step. It's a nice little touch, by the way, at the end of his comment. Why? What was the riddle of the Sphinx? What has 4 legs in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening? A man, baby, adult, old person with stick. And Oedipus is going to end at this play with the stick. Revealed at last. Notice, Oedipus enters the palace. So, on the Greek stage, Greek amphitheater's shaped like this, and you've got stone seats here. And then over here is the actual stage, and at the back of it is what's called the skene. And it's a building with a door here that you can go into and out of. It's where the people enter and exit the stage. So Oedipus has now gone in. Once they're behind that door, they can't hear anything that happens on the stage. I mean, literally, yes, the actors can. The characters, though, don't. Tiresias is now right here. And he tells the audience and the others still left on the stage, the chorus, this part that Oedipus doesn't hear. Revealed at last, brother and father both, to the children he embraces, to his mother, son, and husband both. He sewed the loins his father sewed. He spilled his father's blood. Now when he says that, is he pointing where Oedipus just went through the door? No idea. But he makes it clear who he's talking about. Go in and reflect on that. Solve that. Is that a riddle? Not really. That's pretty clear. And if you find I've lied, that is, if I'm wrong, from this day onward call the prophet blind. And Tiresias leaves the stage. We're left with the chorus. Notice what the chorus is left with. The chorus is left with Oedipus's words and Tiresias's words. And how to understand those, how to interpret those, how to walk back and forth and talk about those for the audience. Who is the man the voice of God denounces resounding out of the rocky gorge of Delphi? In other words, who is the one who murdered his father, married his mother, had children with his mother? Like the chorus is going, I don't have a clue who he's talking about. The horror too dark to tell, whose ruthless bloody hands have done the work, his time has come to fly, blah, 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 blah. Okay? They then go on and they talk about the prophet, Tiresias, and the word of prophecy. The skilled prophet, line 550, the skilled prophet scans the bird, shatters me with terror. I can't accept him. That is, I can't accept what he said as the truth. But I can't deny him either. Why not? He's never been wrong. And in the larger Greek tradition, Tiresias is never wrong. That's why he is called the prophet. He is always right. Okay? Can't accept him, can't deny him, don't know what to say. I'm lost. So the chorus is like, help us. And the wings of dark foreboding beating. In other words, it's like there is a shadow descending. And the chorus knows, this is not good. I cannot see what's come, what's still to come, and what could breed a blood feud between Laius' house and the son of Polybus. Laius' house, Jocasta, her children, via Oedipus, and the son of Polybus. That's Oedipus. So, Zeus and Apollo, they know. The great masters of all the dark and depth of human life. But whether a mere man can know the truth, whether a seer can fathom more than I don't know. He's, of course, is kind of like, help us, gods. Explain. Make it clear. Okay? Crayon comes in right after the chorus finishes with, never will I convict my king, never in my heart. Why? The king is always right mentality. Crayon comes in. Notice there's no little banter, no little chit-chat, no building up. It's just, Oedipus accused me. I had to come. I mean, I had to defend myself. I had to come. I resent it deeply. If in the present crisis he thinks he suffers any abuse from me, anything I've said or done, I need to find out what the problem is. Okay? The damage I'd face from such an accusation is nothing simple. In other words, he's talking about, where do I get my reputation back? How do I overcome this? Leader, yeah, he did, a slur might have been forced out of him by anger, perhaps not. What's the chorus trying to do, or the leader of the chorus trying to do? He's trying to placate Crayon. Okay, yeah. Oedipus might have said something out of anger, but he didn't really mean it. Right? Every one of us has found ourselves in a situation where we say something, and maybe a few minutes, few hours, few days later, we realize we shouldn't have said that. That's what the chorus is saying Oedipus did. Crayon, charge was made in public, wasn't it? That's like point one. And the charge was, I put the prophet up to spreading lies? Well, such things were said, but I don't know what the intent was. He, again, raising the question, he didn't really mean it. Crayon, was his glance steady? His mind right when the charge was brought against me? Meaning, was he looking straight ahead and his eyes not rolling all weird like and his head bobbing around? In other words, did he look sane or did he look crazy? Pretty straightforward question. But I can't really say. What's the leader attempting to do? Let me rephrase that. What is the leader not doing? Louder?
He's not defending Oedipus, but he's also not calling out Oedipus.
So if he's not defending and not calling out, he's trying to take both sides. Or he's straddling the fence, not taking a position. Why? What happens if you take a position between two powers and one of those wins? I mean, if you side with this side and this side wins, you're screwed. If you side with this side and this side wins, you're screwed. So let's all be Switzerland. We're going to be neutral. I'm not going to support or deny either one. Okay? So, Oedipus comes out. He sees Crayon. You? Here? Why here? In front of my palace? Whew, you've got the gall. To show your face before the palace? plotting to kill me, to kill the king? Whoa! Time out. What did he last accuse Crayon of? What did Crayon hear was the accusation?
That he conspired with
Did he conspire with Tiresias to kill Laius? Oedipus' first words, he comes out of the palace, and what's he say? You plotting to kill me? Not Laius. The king? Laius was killed over 20 years ago. Probably closer to 30 years ago. And Oedipus just immediately updates the charge and accusation to not killing Laius, but wanting to kill me. I see it all. The marauding thief himself scheming to steal my crown and power. He says, come on, tell me. Tell me. And he gives a little, speech of several lines. Crayon just stands there, listens. Are you quite finished? Does Crayon really need to say anything else after that? What does that line imply? Not just what it directly means, but what it also implies. Shut the hell up. You don't know what you are saying. It's almost like Crayon is suggesting, Oedipus, I'm on your side. Man, you're just digging that hole deeper and deeper. It's your turn to listen for just as long as you've... It's almost like he has to think of the word, instructed me. Hear me out, then judge on the facts. Okay? Oedipus says something. Hear me out. Just what? Okay? Look. Crayon, line 615. If you think crude, mindless stubbornness such a gift, you've lost your sense of balance. What has he just accused Oedipus of? He's stubborn. Okay? Not 3 B's. Stubborn. Okay? Just leave that for a moment. Oedipus, if you think you can abuse a kinsman then escape the penalty, you're right. You're right. I agree. But this injury you say I've done, what is it? That is, tell it again. Did you induce me, yes or no, to send for that sanctimonious prophet? Did you suggest I send for Tiresias? Yes. I do it again. Okay. How long now has it been since Laius? What did he do? Vanished, swept from sight, murdered in his tracks. Crayon, count of the years, that would run, that's a long time ago. And that far back, that is when Laius was killed, was Tiresias working as a prophet. Notice, was the prophet at his trade. That implies he takes money for the prophecies. That would be kind of like, here's a buck, give me a prophecy. You get a low-grade prophecy. Here's $10, give me a prophecy. A little bit better prophecy. I don't mean better accuracy-wise. I mean significance. Here's 100, give me. Prophecies can be bought and sold, in other words. Okay? Crayon, skilled as he is today and just as honored. In other words, yes, he was a prophet then, and he was as skilled then and honored then as he is today. Did he ever refer to me? Back then. Did he ever mention Oedipus? No. Not that I can recall. Did you investigate the murder? Did our best. Great seer never accused me then? What's Oedipus getting at?
Why didn't he say something in the first place?
Why didn't he accuse me then? He's accusing me now. Notice, Oedipus now understands that. Tiresias has said, I murdered Laius. Why didn't he say that 20, 30 years ago? Is this point. Oedipus, Creon, I don't know. That is, I don't know why Tiresias never said anything then. And when I don't, I keep quiet. The knife to the, lungs right there. It just takes all the air out of Oedipus. Or it should. Because what is he saying? You don't know, Oedipus, and yet you aren't keeping quiet. You do know this, and you'd tell it too if you had a shred of decency. That is, you do know more than what you're saying. What? Tell me. If the two of you had never put heads together, we would never have heard about my killing Laius. In other words, you two have conspired. Co means with, spired means breathed, like inspired, you breathe in, you expired, you breathe out. You have breathed together, you have plotted to accuse me. Creon. If that's what he says, you know best. But now I have a right to learn from you as you just learned from me. In other words, you just questioned me, so now let me question you. You're married to my sister, right? Creon's telling us Jocasta is his sister. Oedipus. Yeah. Genuine discovery. Ooh, aren't you bright? Meaning, don't state the obvious. Okay? And you rule the land with her, with equal power. Now that's implying it's not Oedipus, Jocasta. It's Oedipus, Jocasta. Okay? They're co-rulers. She receives from me whatever she desires. Okay. Notice what Oedipus has just done. Creon says, you rule with equal power. Oedipus says, she receives from me whatever she desires. In other words, I give her what she needs. He's doing what? He's emphasizing his position above her in authority. Right? Creon, and I'm the third. And all of us are equals. Oedipus, Jocasta, Creon. Okay, in Oedipus's mind, it's Oedipus, Jocasta, Creon, because Oedipus is always at the top. So we rule as equals. Yes. And it's there you show your stripes. You betray a kinsman. Creon, no. Notice Creon is speaking probably slowly, calmly, rationally. He's trying to get Oedipus to understand something. Okay? Here's what he's trying to get him to understand. We all rule as equals, right? According to what Creon says. Yet, whose responsibility is it to deal with the current situation? The plague and thieves. It's Oedipus's. It's not Creon's. Whose responsibility is it to deal with an invasion of thieves? It's Oedipus's. It's not Creon's. Think of it in the modern American political system. Creon is essentially saying, I kind of co-rule with you, but I don't have any of the headaches of the presidency. But I do get all the perks. Air Force One, I call up the pilot, it's mine for the day. Camp David, go whenever I want. Marine One, it's there at my beck and call. But I don't have to deal with Congress. I don't have to deal with natural disasters. I don't have to deal with anything. From Crayon's perspective, he gets what? He gets all the perks of power with none of the responsibility. So what's his point? Who in his right mind, bingo, who in his right mind, in his position, would want to take Oedipus' position? Why would I want to be king? King's got to deal with all the problems. I don't have to deal with any problems. Okay? So he says, no, 674. I have no lust for conspiracy in me, nor could I ever suffer one who does. You want proof? Go to Delphi yourself. That is, don't send for Tiresias, go yourself. Well, Oedipus has done that once. Crayon doesn't know that. Nobody in Thebes knows that. Examine the oracle and see if I've reported the message word for word. This too. If you discover that I and Tiresias have plotted together, arrest me, execute me. In other words, if you can prove it, kill me. That's not usually what somebody guilty says. Okay? Not on the strength of one vote, two in this case, mine as well as yours. That is, if you can prove that I've done what you say I've done, I'll vote to kill me too. It's like, I'll pull the switch. But don't convict me on sheer unverified surmise. That is, on an assumption. How wrong it is to take the good for bad purely at random or take the bad for good, but reject a friend, a kinsman? No. Listen to the leader. It's like the leader has suddenly had a spinal infusion. These are good words, Lord. For anyone who wants to avoid disaster, those who jump to conclusions. What's another phrase, a one-word phrase that could describe somebody who jumps to conclusions? What characteristic can be said about you if you jump to conclusions, if you make hasty decisions? Louder? Impulsive? What's another word that's a lot shorter? It means the same thing. The only reason I like it is because it's shorter. You're rash. You make a rash judgment. That is, you don't think things through. What is the leader suggesting? Those who jump to conclusions may go wrong. You may jump wrongly. Oedipus, when my enemy moves against me quickly, he plots in secret. I move quickly too. I must. Sounds like a general. What the kind of leader you want protecting your, people. I plot and pay him back. Relax my guard a moment. Waiting his next move. He wins his objective. I lose mine. In other words, this isn't a bad thing when you're protecting your life, is what Oedipus is implying. Crayon, what do you want? You want me banished? No, I want you dead. Well, at least he's honest. Just to show an ugly grudge? You think I'm not serious? Oedipus, you don't think I'm serious. I think you're insane. Well, that's pretty clear too. Quite sane. And they go back and forth. And Jocasta comes in. Okay? Line 708 or so. And that is where we're going to pick up on Friday. The recognition starts to get more clear, and the reversal is beginning to happen. Isn't there a quiz due tonight, or am I thinking my other classes? Or was that last night? Last night? Exam due Friday. Sorry, I get them all confused.